Grand Rising, everybody.
Grand Rising.
We are here this AM with our coffee.
Yes.
Shh. Shh. Hear that? No wind.
I know, right?
This video, we have finally got our windows in.
Finally.
Okay, and just be patient. You're going to see them in a minute. You're going to see the windows for the front, the glass door that my wife was crying about, the windows for the bedroom. We're all done.
Yes, finally.
So we're what's called dried in.
Yes.
The structure is completely done.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my wife last night. We were sitting up reminiscing, talking about this video. And I told her, I said, baby, you need to start the video off with us pulling up them damn trees.
Right?
3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and to be sitting here right now, actually in this container home.
Mm-hmm. Right. It feels like a home.
It's an amazing feeling of freedom. It's an amazing feeling of accomplishment. It's like we can see the finish line now.
Right.
Got a ways to go, but I can see the finish line.
Right. It's in full view.
It's in full view. I'm starting to think about my pool now. Yeah, I'm putting a pool in. And a basketball court and a pool. I'm gonna be like, what?
I'm not playing basketball.
So this video, we want to give you the lessons we learned in the process of our windows. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off, and my wife wanted me to start off with a very fundamental concept. This fundamental concept is we had to draw this thing out. All right, and fundamentally, you should draw out everything you do. All right, especially if you don't have plans from an architect that gives you details. So, to go back to an earlier video and earlier comments when I talked about if you don't have the bread to spend for professional architecture drawings, because it's going to cost. It is, and with all due respect to the architect we did attempt to utilize, we do understand things cost.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start your projects, draw them out. Can't say it enough. Say it, baby.
Draw them out. We spent a whole day and a half in here drawing this out because we had already pre-bought the windows and the door. And you know, it's easy to say, okay, I want my window to go right here, and I want that one to go right there. But, you know, in order to have everything symmetrically aligned and to be evenly distributed across the shipping container, we had to draw it out. And we literally spent a whole day and a half calculating the length of the shipping container to 40 feet and doing all the measurements of the windows, calculating that and dividing that into the 40 feet and determining how much space in between each window we were going to have. Yep. And that took a whole day and a half, literally. And not only that, but measuring it on the shipping container and drawing out the lines and making sure our lines were straight and even before we did the cuts. The last thing you want is your windows to be off on the side, on the gasoline.
and just to add to that, you know, when earlier videos where I'm always talking about squaring and leveling, right? A project, when you get to the windows, you better have that shit down. Because that window is square, and it's not going to give any tilt of an angle. That opening better be exactly square so that window can fit. Because if it's not, it ain't going to fit.
Right.
Okay. One thing I can say is that us drawing this out really gave us a good, tight fit on these windows. These windows are so tight, I haven't even caulked them yet. Right? And when you see the shots of it, you'll see how tight they are without caulking. So that's how airtight and how sound tight they are. So I'm very pleased and very happy with our turnout. We worked our ass off.
Yeah.
We worked our ass off on them, but we got them very tight and very symmetry exact. You know, lessons. All right, let's see. First lesson: draw it out.
Yeah.
You need to know what your math should be before you start. Second lesson: draw it out again. Third lesson: go through the whole thing, rooted to tutor, make sure you're right. You know, if you're doing a container home, if you're doing a block home, whatever you're doing, whatever you've chosen for your off-grid home type, you just want it to be right. And this isn't something you want to half-step or, that's close enough. No. Because a half inch, a quarter inch, it will show its ass when it's time to put some windows in. I had one window that I swear was an eighth of an inch. Man, that window gave me hell because the eighth of an inch was at the top that I had to get it off of. You know what I'm saying? And it just was a pain. It was a real pain the way the window was sitting. But I got it. But nevertheless, that little eighth of an inch wore my ass out. It wore me out. Let's see, what other lessons do we have?
I would say speak to the framing, not just including that measurements of the angle iron and the 2x4, but discuss the importance of how that played a role, because a lot of other channels
on the shipping container on the windows
that's what I was talking to you about. How I was glad you did I didn't understand at first, but why you did the framing on the inside wall.
Okay.
Addition.
All right, good point. Okay, so we've watched a lot of shipping container videos, right? And most of them kind of jump over the window stuff. So it was a little bit of a brain puzzle to figure out the windows, because what we had to do was we had to put steel in the cutout opening, angle iron. So we used angle iron to go into the window cut. And then from the angle iron, I had to put wood, but I couldn't just put wood on top of the angle iron and put the window in, because I needed the wood to tie to the frame. So that's what my wife is speaking to, is that what we basically did was use 1.5 inch angle iron and then use 2x4 framing, which gave us just the right measurement for a 2x6 plate overlay that the window attached itself to. So between the 2x4 and the 1.5 angle iron, it gave us just the right measurement that we needed, because there was about 1/2 inch in the corrugation. So it gave us exactly 5.5 inches overall, which is what a 2x6 is. So my wife's point was, when we was doing this, I was going round and around my brain, and we was going back and forth, and she's like, I'm like, look, you don't get it. She's like, just put the window in. I'm like, I can't. Just put the damn window in. The shit gotta work out. So to anybody who might be entertaining a shipping container home, if you use 1.5 inch angle iron on the windows, and you use 2x4 in the framing, you can put a 2x6 within the plating to tie them together so that it's smooth, so when you put your window seals in, when you put your drywall in, that it's nice and smooth. You don't have no breaks, you don't have no wood barely joining or whatever, you know. And if you go with a 2x6 framing, then you can use a 2x8 in your plating. So that's something that we've watched quite a few videos, and nobody ever spoke to how. So you got the angle iron, the 2x4, and then you go the next size wood up to tie it all together. So basically we had a plating wood that I put screws into the angle iron, and then I also put screws into the 2x4 wall framing. So this one plating piece of wood was screwed into the metal container, and it's screwed into the framing of the wall. And when my wife goes through with the video, I'll kind of recap that just to point it out. Right now I'm kind of speaking to it. It might be more visually aesthetic if I'm showing you while we're doing But that was the one big thing. Try to get your measurements when you draw this out. You want that tight. You don't want your doors and windows having a lot of gap in between them, because you want that air tightness and you want that sound tightness. You know, we were in here yesterday after we finished and it got really windy. Couldn't hear nothing.
Right.
It was perfectly quiet. Couldn't hear no wind. Couldn't hear nothing. It was perfect. So again, I'm just happy to be at this point, man. You know. And sorry, it's been a minute for a video. My wife threw the video out there about the garden. See, it didn't get a lot of views. So I see some of y'all just trying to watch about the house.
I know, right?
And I wanted to speak to this, so I'm going to get a little philosophical here, just a little bit. Right? You're watching all this election crap going on right now. And it never took 4 or 5 days to recognize who the president was. Okay? You got 2 different channels showing 2 different numbers. CNN showing one number, Fox News showing a different number of electoral votes. So my point being is, be mindful of what our channel is really about. Our channel isn't really about just how to build a shipping container home. Our channel is really about how to separate yourself from this system. And part of separating yourself from this system is also understanding you need to be able to feed yourself. You need to be able to survive functionally without the system being your only concept of existence. So, you know, I'm just throwing that little tidbit out there for you guys to see that this system is playing games. Some of you are waking up and starting to catch the games. Some of you still staying in that bed and don't want to get out that bed. You know, you hollering, I'm awake, I'm awake, I'm awake. But you still laying in the goddamn bed. No. An awoke person gets out the bed. Okay, you don't stay in the bed in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm up. No, your ass ain't. You ain't up. If you up, get out the bed. And if my analogy is hitting you, the point being is, pay attention to these food videos my wife posts. Pay attention to the garden videos. For those of you who, you know, have the capability, start you a garden, start growing your food. We got some things coming. 2020 wasn't the worst. I'm going to give you a heads up. 2020 is the beginning. It is not the top of the hill. All right? You're going to see some really major stuff occur in 2021. All right? Give you a little clue. And you guys who are waking up and you want to go research this, you go look this up. Those of you who remember all the propaganda about the 2012, they made a movie about it. They talked about the Mayan calendar about it. Guess what? It wasn't 2012. It was 2021. They flipped the script. They transposed 2 of the numbers intentionally to throw you off the trail so that you wouldn't think anything if nothing happened in 2012. Oh, it was all just bullshit. It wasn't. Okay, but the truth is, it's 2021. Pay attention to these storms. I talk about these storms in almost every video. Almost every video I make a comment about storms. You got a damn hurricane hitting today, Florida, in November. They're calling it a tropical cyclone right now. It ain't going to be a super strong one, but nevertheless, it's hitting. You've had more storms hit this year than ever. They're going to get worse next year. So my point, going back to the gardening point, food. These storms are going to take an effect on your food. Pay attention to the videos about the gardening. Start you guys a garden. Don't try to wait and think the system got you covered, because it don't. So I'm going to stop there, because I can go on and on and on. My wife over here nudging me like, all right, dog, all right. So I'm going to stop there. But understand the nature of this channel is not just about the shipping container home. We're just trying to show you in this shipping container home, you don't have to live all dusty and all jacked up off grid. That ain't enough. We ain't no dusty motherfucker. You can live very nice and very comfortable. Yeah, it do take a few bucks, but the more you do the work, the less bucks it takes. Okay? On that note, I'm going to let my wife give you her 2 cents before we do the walkthrough.
No, I don't really have anything to say.
She had to change. Oh, shit.
Right, change. I'm like the system. Ran out of change.
She had to change.
But no, well, first of all, I want to thank all the viewers that chimed in to get on my husband about putting the windows in. But we got to give a shout out to Jason with the welding.
Yes.
Because the welding, the windows and doors, the angle iron did have to be welded, and I didn't want to just tack weld it. I tack welded, but the welder that I have is real cheap. It's not the welder that I use.
He's not real cheap. Oh, the welder machine.
The welder machine.
Oh. But he's great. He's good.
Yeah, the welding machine that I have is cheap. And it's not the welding machine that I use to weld the shipping containers. We borrowed that from someone, and that was a big, heavy-duty, good one. And so it was such a task because the front of the shipping container, the metal is not as thick. And I just didn't want to chance it. So we hollered at our boy Jason, and I want you to give a shout out to him.
So I got to give a shout out to Precision Metal Works LLC. Mm-hmm. Jason, he's here in New Mexico, in the Minority area. If anybody watches our videos and happen to be in the New Mexico area, this is a great guy. Yeah. He's very reasonable in his prices. He ain't cheap, but he does good work. Mm-hmm. His work is very commemorable with his fee. Okay, so if anybody happens to catch our channel, we do give our cards out to people here in the New Mexico area. You need a good welder, Jason's my man. You can probably look him up and find him. If you don't, you can always holler at us on YouTube, send us a chat, and I'd be more than happy to send you his info. But again, it's Precision Metal Works LLC. Great guy. So good job, Jason. Thank you.
For real, thank you. All right, guys, so enjoy the rest of the video. Until next time, be free.
Peace.
I see you.
Well, what we're about to do is waterproof these window seals. So once we put the window in, because this cement block, they're all filled up, we're going to use this liquid flex seal to put on top of the block and around here to help prevent moisture from getting inside the cement block. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm about to do. My wife is going to be spraying the outside of the block with a silicone that'll help create a moisture barrier and waterproof the outside. Then we're going to also come on the inside, spray the inside of the block. So it'll create a seal barrier so the block isn't so, what's the word?
Permeable.
Permeable.
I don't know.
Yeah. Or be able to suck in water. So somebody leave me a comment what the word was.
You'll probably figure it out by then.
I'll figure it out by then. But anyway, then after we do that, we're going to start putting the windows in. So that's what we're going to do today. We got a relaxing, no dust day. It feels so good.
Yes, it does.
It feels so good.
Yes.
Till next time.
We got our windows in. Don't they look so pretty and clean?
Yes, baby. Your windows look pretty and clean.
They look pretty and clean.
Your windows look pretty and clean.
Yes, and they in there.
Now we got to figure out molding for them.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. That's what's up.
Uh-huh.
That's what's up, my love.
Another chalk off the chalkboard.
Yes, thank God. Lord, have mercy. That's what's up.
Let me explain.
Okay.
All right, so what I'm doing is I'm laying out my framework for, as you look at this part here that I did already, I have to lay out where the boards are going to land on the side of the window, and I got to lay out where my short boards are going to be, and then my short boards up there, and then my full boards. All right, I'm doing 16 inches on center, so I come down here, I lay my board on the ground, so I know my first board's 1.5 inches, which is going to go right there, and then from there, 16 inches puts me here, so 17.5 right there, and then I need a board to hit right here, which is going to be 24.1/8. So I'm going to have a long board right here. So I put long here, long here. So now I know those will be long boards. And then here, I'll put another short board right here. How you spell short? And then the short board will come right here next to this board, which will start this lip. So the short is on this side, the long is on that side. And then here I got short. And so now what I'm doing is I'm just sticking with my 16 on center. All right, so I know every red is a 16, and then I just add 1.5 inches to it.
That's 49.5.
Yeah, 49.5. 65.5. And then I'm not going to do the 80 here because I need one here. So I need a long one right there. Put that out for me, babe. Alright, so now I know I need a long board to hit right at 74 5/8. So this will be a long. And then I tell it which side, I put an arrow on which side the board will go, so when I go to stud it out, I don't put the board on the wrong side of the line and have to take it loose, because that sucks. All right, then I'll just go from here, 16, one there, and then one on the end, which will be 1.5. Let's see. Should be about like that. All right, then keep me the square, baby. Then I'll take my square and I'll just line them all out. And I'll put my arrow on it so I know which way my stud. So my piece of wood will end up on this side, this piece of wood will end up on that side. This piece of wood will go this way, so that means this is the outer edge here, and the other side will be here. Then these are all short pieces, so after I do all the framing for the long pieces, then I will cut the short pieces
to fit in here. Short that way, long that way. All right, then this is the bottom. Then I'll get another board, lay it right next to it, and put the same markings on it, and then that's my top and that's my bottom. And then I'll just cut the boards to fit it. I'll cut all the long boards at one time. I'll count how many I need, then I'll connect them. So, then I'll take another board like this, line it up right next to it, and just come back through and do the same thing.
Get from over there.
All right, and then I'll lay these out. That. And like this. And then I'll count how many long ones I need. So I need 1, 2, 3. I got them on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long ones. So I need 6 boards, 92 inches. Boom, boom, boom. Tap, tap, tap. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Took me all day to frame that one window in this wall and to grind that out.
Yep,
It's a slow process, but
it is.
as y'all see, we coming along.
Yeah, yeah.
We coming along.
Got paint everywhere, all on her clothes.
My wife, when she paints, she gets paint all over you guys.
Whatever. That's my husband.
All over herself. So what we're doing is we're painting the raw angle iron that we use to weld the shipping container window openings to restabilize the cuts so that it was strong and firm. So as you can see, it's nice and sturdy. That's the welding there. Let's get a close up. So we welded all the way around these windows. Look at her, she's just painting the wood and everything.
Oh, that don't matter. Wood getting painted anyway.
See how she is? I should have taped the wood.
Oh, please.
demonstrate this framing.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a 2x6 here. All right, this is the plated framing that the window's connected to. This 2x6 is also connected to the wall framing, which is the 2x4. And then as you can see right here, come this way, my love. You can see where the steel angle iron was welded to the container. And we'll show you the outside weld so you can see it. But this is what we were talking about. So this piece of wood here goes all the way out to the edge of that window. So this window is sitting on the inside of this wood. We put liquid rubber on the wood as a sealant. You know, you got to seal your windows from water. So that's what we used. So far, it seems to be a pretty good choice. I don't see any problem with it, but it was a lot better than trying to use tape that's used in conventional windows because of the shipping container front. I didn't want that tape sitting there. So that's what we went with. And then, here's my door. It's a really nice heavy door. So I put a header on the door. Didn't think it needed it, but I wanted to be safe than sorry.
Right.
Okay. Here, let me show the gap on the window so you can see how tight these are. So you can see how tight these windows are. I haven't even caulked them yet. And you can see it's a really tight fit, which is what you want. You want a tight fit. So do your drawings, do your measurements so you can get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we are with the bedroom windows.
That took us 3 times to do. Lord have mercy.
Bedroom windows, the double hung windows. Let's see. All right. So the double hung. This one folds out as well. Too short. I need a step ladder.
That's all right.
But this one
we get the
folds down too. So these will be the 2-bedroom windows. You'll see over here, I didn't quite have as tight of a fit on this window.
Right.
So I had to use my spacers, and I'll spray foam that and then caulk it. But that's why you want it real tight, so that you don't have this, you know, this is normal, but I wanted mine perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, then here's the bathroom window. This is where my wife's tub is going to go, right here.
That's okay.
So her tub will be right at her window. And you can see everything works pretty smooth, everything's square.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the little part of the bathroom window over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Looks good.
looks good, looks good. Can't see the base of it yet, baby.
I'm not even over there. I'm not over there. No spoiler alerts.
Don't show to the video.
Nope. Yeah, guys, so we got a nice open space here.
Yeah.
And a beautiful view outside. So once we get the landscaping, put the deck on, and that's what I did.
Where the deck's on.
Yeah.
All right, so basically once we get rolling, this will be the deck, right here. So the deck will go from there to there, up to the wall, and it'll all be a stone deck. Okay, you gotta come out here, babe, let me get you a ladder.
so you can do a view from outside.
And I chose a patio door and not a regular traditional door because I really wanted an open view. And plus that, this isn't a traditional home, it's a shipping container home. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You can do what you want to do and make it what you want to make it. So this is the front door to our home.
Get a close up so we can show them Jason's well. All right, so you can see here where it had to be welded all the way around the window, all the way from top to bottom. Welded the bottom, it's welded at the top. Then we put a Rust-Oleum acrylic paint over it, but you can see where the framing is attached to the metal. So there's screws that go right in here that come down through this wood into this metal angle iron. And then that metal angle iron is also connected on the inside. So all we got to do now is put some penny nails in it. And then when we put the brick on, the brick will come to this far out. And then we'll just have a molding piece.